popped out here on this gas line. As you can see, it's definitely looking pretty rough. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Vista Ventures. I'm Caleb and thanks for joining me. Today I'm up in Sproul State Forest here in Pennsylvania, and I'm going to be doing the west loop of the Chuck Keiper Trail. Now, the Chuck Keiper Trail is a 50-ish mile loop up here in Sproul State Forest, but there is a cross connector in the middle that allows you to make like a 22 mile, I think, and then a 32 mile loop. So I'm going to be doing the western loop, which is the 32 mile loop. In the past, I already knocked off the eastern loop, so I just got a nice weekend here. The weather's supposed to be like low 70s, and then I only dropped down to about 45 at night, so it should be fantastic weather for this trip. So with that, I'm going to grab the pack and let's get on the trail. Alright guys, let me try to show you what I'm going to do. I'm parked right here at this parking area, and I'm going to be hiking using this east branch trail cross connector here that kind of bisects the Chuck Keiper, forming the east and west loop. So I'm going to bring it down and then just continue on the Chuck Keiper Trail, following it on around, and then it'll bring me all the way over. I'll cross back over Route 144 and then drop down into this Yost Run. I believe right in here is supposed to be a real nice waterfall and a campsite, so I'm planning on maybe camping there tonight. If I get there and I still got some daylight left, I might push this out, and I believe there's another camp area right here. So somewhere right in this gorge I'm planning on camping tonight, and then tomorrow morning I will just continue on and then hike the rest of the trail on out back to the truck where I'm parked right now. I parked up here at the kind of northern trailhead. There is a nice big parking area here. Now it doesn't look like it's actually marked with the Chuck Keiper designation out here along the road. I believe it's marked with the Fish Dam Run Scenic View kind of sign out here. So if you're looking for this parking lot where I am, that's the sign you'll want to look for as you're driving in. Alright, so basically you just cross over Route 144, get over here to the other side, and as soon as you cross, there's just a road right there. And on over there, kind of behind that sign, is where the Chuck Keiper loop kind of comes up from the backside there, where I'll come up from tomorrow when I'm finishing up. But basically right across from it, you just kind of continue down this east branch cross connector here. So this is the trail that I'm going to use to follow down and hook up with the Chuck Keiper on the other side, and then I'll just do the west loop from there in a clockwise fashion. Now I'm picking up right where I left off from my last trip, wading through some really boggy stuff here. I do have some new kicks for this trip. These are the Ultra Lone Peak 4.5s. I've been using the 3.5s for a number of years now, but they finally got worn down enough. I went and upgraded to the 4.5s, so this is the first trip I've ever had them on, so we'll see how well they do. So far they're pretty wet from all this grass from the morning dew, but that's certainly to be expected. So I'm gonna keep slogging out through here and see if I can avoid sinking in up to my knees. Alright, just popped out on this dirt road. You got a sign there, East Branch Trail. Now I just kind of follow this dirt road up here a little piece, and then I'll jut back off to the left and continue on that East Branch Trail until I get all the way down to the Chuck Keiper. Alright, just got here to the Chuck Keiper. Got a nice sign here pointing this way. The way you'd want to head if you were going to do the east loop. And over here they got, again, well signed, Chuck Keiper Trail west loop this way. So we're done with that cross connector. So now we're just going to cut off here to the right and start on the west loop. I will say the back half of that cross connector trail was much nicer than the front half, just because a couple of those bogs were really difficult to get through, and quite frankly I don't think you could get through them without getting your feet completely soaked. So maybe as a tip for future hikers, if you wanted to maybe hike these loops in a way that you did that cross connector kind of at the end, that way your feet get soaked right before the car, no big deal, versus getting them soaked right off the bat like me. Another option you might have is looking to see where that kind of dirt road that I come out onto comes out onto Route 144. Might be able to utilize that and just kind of walk the road down until you got to there or something. Not sure, but might give you another option to kind of avoid that kind of nasty boggy section there at the start of that cross connector trail. Alright, kind of give you guys an idea some of the trail conditions I've seen so far on this western loop. You can see she's pretty overgrown here. This is May 30th, so I definitely probably avoid this trail altogether in the summertime, because I got a feeling it would be so overgrown it'd be very difficult to get through some of these sections and frankly even see where the trail was at. Alright, trail just spit me out on this road. I'm just going to be following for a little bit. Real nice cabin here. Camp Bighorn. They got a real nice place. So I think I'm just going to be going up here ahead, and I see the turnoff. And it looks like I'm going to be kind of following a old road grade for a little while before I drop back into the woods. I'm still on this kind of old road grade. Just got done with my morning break, stopped and had some peanut M&Ms and came across this real nice campsite. Of course, I stopped down the trail about 30 yards from this. Could have sat here. Yeah, this is a very nice campsite. Nice fire ring, some sweet benches, beautiful stream, and it's nice and flat in here. Get a pretty good group of people in here. Very nice campsite. Hopefully I can find one at least this good for tonight. Well, this is a pretty sweet bridge. Must get some hellacious water come down through here, or they just wanted to be sure they didn't have to rebuild it. Alright, I'm heading out across this plateau toward, I believe, Penrose Road. This section in through here is really opened up. You can tell much nicer than that first section of this loop this morning that was just, you know, all closed in. Now I can see around a good ways. It's been pretty level, you know, not too many rocks and roots, that sort of thing. Really making some good time heading out across here. And I haven't seen, other than that campsite back by that stream, haven't seen any established camps so far, but with as flat as this is, you could certainly make a stealth site probably if if you got in a pinch through this section. Another thing to keep in mind through here is it's pretty open canopy. I mean, in the summertime you'd have a little bit more foliage, give you a little more protection, but there are several sections of the Chuck Keiper, if I remember right, that are like this, where you're kind of pretty exposed. So if you were going to do this in the summertime, you might want to try to get sections like this done either late in the evening or early in the morning if you could, to avoid getting scorched and really dehydrated heading through here. I just come out on Penrose Road, crossing it and continuing on the Chuck Keiper. The next road I'm going to run into is Hicks Road, which I think is about a mile and a half from here. Just made it out here to Hicks Road. It took me about 30 minutes from the last road, which is about what I expected. I already ripped 7 miles this morning. I'm real pleased with that. So I think I decided I'm just going to keep pushing here and try to drop down to the next road. I think is DeHoss Road or something like that, and then try to have lunch down there along that road somewhere. I think I can make it down there by 1 o'clock or so, which won't be too bad, especially if the trail stays like it has been. It's been very easy walking here most of the morning after I got through that kind of overgrown section. It's been a lot just like this, just kind of flat road grades, which has been a very pleasant surprise. Just shortly after that road crossing back there at Hicks Road, there is a little camp right here. It's dry and definitely not real big, but know that there is one here if you get stuck in a pinch or something and would need one in this area. Just came to a real nice little camp. I mean, it's a small one, but it's very beautiful. Got this nice stream here trickling by. Plenty of seating and a real nice tent pad kind of right in there. You could certainly string a hammock up in there as well. This is probably one of the nicer camps I've seen here today. Still barreling down the trail here along this beautiful stream, and right over there on the other side of the stream is a pretty nice campsite. Really spacious. Looks like a lot of people have used it. Obviously you gotta scamper across the stream there at one point, but that would definitely be a pretty nice site to set up at. I got back up on the kind of the top of the plateau. I don't know if you guys can see it out there, but it's looking kind of dark. 10% chance of rain today, so hopefully a storm doesn't roll in. especially since I'm about to stop for lunch. So I guess we'll just play it by ear. Hopefully it just looks kind of foreboding and nothing happens. Popped out here on this gas line. As you can see, it's definitely looking pretty rough above me. And it has started sprinkling a little bit. So I guess if you come up here and see there's only a 10% chance of rain, don't believe them, because that ain't real high chance, and I'm definitely getting rained on. All right, made it out here to this Yost Road. It's right at 1 o'clock, and I am definitely ready to eat. I'm really hoping this rain holds off or just blows over. It's just kind of been spitting on me so far, so as long as it doesn't do any more than that, everything will be good. All right, just got lunch wrapped up. Got my shoes dried out a little bit. They're still a little damp, but a little better than what they were, that's for sure. So now I'm hopping back on the trail here. I think I just kind of drop down in and then parallel along with this road for a little ways. And then I'll end up turning back and heading down towards, I guess, some remnants of an old splash dam. And then from there, I turn and head up. I think it's like Eddy Lick Run or something like that, some sort of little stream. And I just kind of follow it the whole way back up to the road out there. So that should be, I think that should take me about 2-ish hours maybe, looking at the map, to maybe get back out there to the main road, which will be good. That'll put me in real good position to make it to where I want to camp tonight. According to my pedometer, it says I've gone 11 miles so far today, which sounds about right. So we've really been able to make some pretty good time through most of this trail, so I'm kind of hoping that continues for me. So I just got down here to this beautiful little stream across this bridge. I believe this is kind of down where that splash dam was. It might even be it right here where all these rocks are piled up, not sure. But right back in there is looks like a pretty nice camp. If I walk back here and show you. But I decided I only got about a ½ liter of water. This place looked as good as any, so I'm gonna stop here and fill my water bottles back up. And then I'll keep on hammering. Yeah, this is a really nice campsite here. Some rock chairs to sit on. A real big log couch here for you. And there's a pretty big area here cleared out. Certainly make work for both tents and hammocks. Yeah, if I was coming the other way, this would probably be a real good campsite to shoot for. I rescind my earlier comment about the splash dam. I'd say this is it right here. Kind of see where it's sticking up above the trail. It goes the whole way across the stream out there. Kind of hard to see, but it's got a big hole blowed right through the middle of it. Huh. That's pretty cool. Still hiking along this beautiful little stream. It's been really scenic through this section, all up along from that splash dam. There is another campsite right over here across the stream. Looks pretty nice. I think I'm getting pretty close to the road up here. I'm hoping it's about, you know, no more than a mile or so. I've been making pretty good time coming up through here. Just popped out on this road, so I reckon I'll be getting pretty close to Route 144 up there. Thought I heard some vehicles a little bit ago. I'm not sure, but time and mileage kind of lines up, which will be good. As soon as I make it up there, I think I'm going to stop for 10 minutes and take my afternoon break. As expected, Route 144 parking area, looking good. Making some really good time today. It is not quite 4 o'clock, so I'm real pleased with the progress I've been able to make. Made her back to Route 144. All right, sweet. There's another parking area at this end of the loop. I'm gonna be dropping down off here to the left up here somewhere, and should take me down to Yost Run. I think it's only about a mile. Alright, I made it down here to this last camp right before I get down to this Yost Run. I don't know what I was thinking. I said as soon as I got across 144 up there I was going to stop for my afternoon break. Well, I got all excited, I guess, that this was just kind of easy road walking the whole way down here. So I just zoomed the whole way down here, and it was about 3/4 of the way down. It was like I never stopped. So when I got down here I saw they've got a nice picnic table here. So I'm kind of renting it here for 5 minutes, grab some water and a protein bar. So I'm going to get the pack back on here and head down the trail. I think that awesome waterfall should be right down here, so I'm looking forward to finding it. Well, I'd say we found the waterfall. That's really nice. That was definitely worth coming up here this morning. And coming on down, I see there is another waterfall over here across, and there's a campsite. Okay, right over there is a small little campsite, and there's another waterfall back there. Try to figure out how to get over there to it. Made it over here across to this other waterfall. Definitely worth it. That's pretty wild having these two really nice waterfalls right here so close to each other. That's beautiful. Here's a shot of that camp right below the waterfall. There's really only two trees right there you might be able to hang a hammock out of, and the height difference would be pretty difficult, and they're quite far apart. And the real spot you got for a tent is that little pad right there. And looks a little rocky and rooty, but if you're willing to put up with a little bit of discomfort, the proximity to these waterfalls definitely would make it worth it. still heading down here along this Yost Run. I believe what happened is the trail used to just kind of zigzag back and forth across this run. So to, I guess, get around that, they started side hilling it up along, which has been kind of treacherous in a couple spots, but every time it brings you down, it seems to bring you down to like a primitive campsite. So here's yet another one. Again, this one you could at least make work for hammocks, but tents still probably be a little bit better. I marked it on my GPS. I'm going to keep going. I should have enough daylight even if I'd make it the whole way out to the end, and there's not, nothing that can work for me. I could bounce back to this if I had to, but we'll just see how it goes. Alright, I want to give you guys a brief flavor of what this side hilling's been like out through here. This is just kind of all people have been slipping and sliding through there a lot, I can see. Yeah, this has been quite difficult on these side hills up here. It'll be fairly easy going, and then you'll get into some like blow down stuff and have to go through like this slalom to get through there. But so far it keeps bringing me back down kind of where there's been campsites, so whatever. Got plenty of daylight, so we can certainly get through it. But I'd say if you were hiking this section along this Yost Run, anytime maybe it's been raining or it's been really wet, be a lot of mud or something, you might want to reconsider it, because this would be pretty dang treacherous up here. Alright, I made her to what's going to be camp for the night. Probably about as good a spot as I'm going to find. There is one more on up there, right where the trail turns and heads up that other hollow that I'm going to go up tomorrow, but it's not as good as this one. So it's got a really nice fire ring here and a couple chairs to sit on and a little bit of firewood. I don't know if I'm going to have a fire or not. I'll just see how I feel. And then there's two trees behind me that I should be able to make work for the hammock. They're a little bit further apart than what I'd like, but frankly, I'm just glad that this campsite has a nice clear floor and there's not stinging nettle everywhere, because we were slogging through a good bit of that here. So I'm gonna get camp set up and get supper going, because I'm hungry. I think we did, according to the pedometer, 20.5 miles, like 44,000 steps. So it was definitely a full day. All right, we got home set up for the night. As I expected, it's definitely a pretty sketchy setup here, because these trees are a little further apart than what they should be, but I think this will work for tonight. The ground here was pretty tough. I had to put a couple rocks down on the tent stakes to keep them in place. But fortunately, I don't think we're calling for any weather tonight, so I think we should be all right. I got my chili over here rehydrating a little bit, so that'll be good. I think I am going to kind of forage around here, see if I can get some firewood to have a nice little fire tonight. But overall, I think this was a pretty good day, and I'm glad to be at this camp. Alright guys, I got supper wrapped up and everything. Camp chores are all done. I am going to start a little fire here now that it's getting dark. Had a really good day today. Had a little rough going right at the beginning with that boggy section, and then here at the end with the side hill, but the middle of the day was really good, and I was really happy to be able to rip a 20, coming off the couch here. So I was pretty pleased with that, especially with the new shoes. I got to say the Lone Peak 4.5s really held up well for me today, so I was really happy about that. So I think I got about 11.5-ish miles to go tomorrow, so I'm planning on going to bed fairly early and then getting up pretty early I'm trying to, get up these couple of ascents that I got tomorrow before it gets too hot. And then there is, I think, 2 real steep descents as I drop down into a couple of these wild areas. So that'll probably be a little bit brutal, but it doesn't matter since it's on the way out. It can be what it wants to be, and then make her out to the truck. So I don't think it'll be too bad. I'm hoping to be out by about lunchtime. So with that, guys, I'll see you later. Good night, and we'll hit her again tomorrow. Good morning, everybody. It's about 5:45 here. It did get down to 45 degrees last night, so it was a little bit chilly, but not too bad. I think I got about 11.5 miles to go today, and some of that's going to be over some pretty rough terrain, so I'm just going to get breakfast in me here and get camp packed up as quick as I can, and then just get back on the trail and keep on hammering. Here's this other campsite just up right at the bottom where you start up this hill. I definitely prefer the campsite I had, but know that if you got down here and that other one was taken or something, there is at least one more in here that I was able to find. Finished up with a climb up from Yost Run. It really wasn't too bad. It does keep you kind of along a little stream there for most of it, and also when I got clear up here to the top, there's a cabin up here, and right next to it there's a nice spring with a hose coming out of it. So if you were wanted to climb up there without a lot of water, that'd probably be advantageous, so you don't have to carry it all the way up, because there's water pretty much most of the way. And then right there at that cabin, I'd say that spring's pretty reliable. So just know that, that's an option for you if you don't want to hump a bunch of water the whole way up here. Just up from that camp back there, there's a real nice campsite here. Had I known this was up here and that spring was there, I'd have probably just pushed up here last night. So it took me about 45 minutes to get up here. Yeah, this is a dry site, but with that spring right back there, this would make for an excellent campsite. Alright, I'm just about to pop out onto the road up here. Came to yet another real nice campsite here in these pines. It's probably maybe a quarter mile or half mile up from that last one I showed you. Yeah, this one's really spacious. A lot of room in here. But you are kind of close to this road right out here. I mean, it's only 50 yards away, but I doubt that it sees a lot of traffic. Alright, I'm just hopping off this dirt road here, staying on the Keiper. And here directly I'm going to begin my descent down into the Burns Run wild area, which I believe I'm going to be descending down along Owl Run. And from what I've been reading, it's about a 800 foot descent, really rocky, over like 3/4 of a mile. So that'll probably be rather interesting. But we'll see. Hopefully it'll be the right call going down it rather than having to climb up it. Well, as expected, this descent down Owl Run has been pretty technical. A lot of blowdowns, and a lot of the footing is real rocky and wet. So definitely be careful whether you're coming up or going down this guy. Alright, I just made it down here to the bottom of that Owl Run, and now turning, heading up this hollow. There is a small little campsite right over there. Doesn't look to be real spacious, but there is at least one primitive site down here if you wanted to camp down here. Still heading up the trail here along Burns Run. I just came to like the Taj Mahal of all campsites. Holy cow, look at this thing. This is wild. Really nice benches all the way around. So I got some maybe basic supplies over there. These huge tables with these pieces of slate on top of them. This is nuts. And there's just cable up here. I'm not sure if that's like string a tarp up over or what. Huh. Not sure how you get down in here, but someone was certainly ambitious. Good grief. Certainly wasn't expecting to see that this morning. Boy, climbing up out of this Burns Run wild area has been a whole lot of side hill. You can kind of see what I'm dealing with here. It's very overgrown and a little difficult to navigate. I would highly advise against doing any part of this trail from like June through September, just because of the undergrowth here. Just kind of takes over the trail, and seen a lot of stinging nettle and stuff starting to come out. So here in another couple weeks, this would be really rough getting through. I just bumped into a hen and some baby turkeys. This is the second time I've seen baby turkeys on the trail. Wow. There's one going out through there. You're okay, turkey. Gotta be careful I don't step on any. Jeez. We just scared the heck out of each other. Huh. Snuck right up on him. Wow. Well, that was neat. Alright, I just got done climbing up out of that hollow. That was pretty rough down in there, I'm not gonna lie. Which is kind of what I was expecting. But I'm certainly glad to be up here now. Finally made it up on the level. I'm just gonna push on out here to, I believe it's this Yost Run road. As soon as I get out there, I'm just gonna pop the pack and take a 15-minute break, because that zapped me pretty good coming up out of there. And then once I get done with that, I got one more wild area to navigate through. I think it's like Fish Dam Run wild area, but I don't think it's quite as long and intense as the one I just did, so that's certainly a good sign. Alright, I just made it down off to this Fish Dam Run down here. That should have been the last major descent of the day. So all I gotta do is climb up out of here. Yeah, the descent down here was much nicer than that Owl Run descent this morning. And there is a little campsite down here. It's not real big, but you could certainly make this work down in here. So now I'm gonna get across this Fish Dam Run and then start up the other side, and that should be all the elevation out of the way then once I get up out of here. I'm looking forward to that. Still on this final climb up out of here. Boy, they must get some hellish winds up in here. I mean, this valley here looks kind of just like that one when I dropped down at Owl Run. I mean, there's just trees knocked down everywhere. Fortunately, so far, getting through hasn't been too difficult on this section. So I'm hoping that continues. Finally made it up onto the top. So that should be all the major ascent out of the way for the day. But as you can see, certainly back in the thick of it here. Holy cow. Alrighty guys, I got this one knocked off. Had some fantastic weather for this trip, really can't beat it. And I was really glad I was able to sneak one more weekend backpacking trip in here before the summer heat kicks in. So guys, if you guys have any trail recommendations for me, especially loop trails, if you'd let me know in the comments, I would greatly appreciate it, because I'm starting to run out of some easy weekend trips that I can do around here. So as always guys, get outdoors, have fun, and embrace the uphill. Till next time, this is Vista Ventures.